Yo, anybody using their mic? Come on, man. People, come on. We know you gotta use the mic. Alright, we said we're gonna use Punisher, but no, we're not. I mean, let's try Panther, baby. We gotta switch it up sometime. Yo, please tell me we got a healer on the team. Come on, people. Yeah, the neuter scooter. We got the neuter scooter, baby. He play Loki. We got DGs, the Gibbsy, the Giblets. That's Spider-Man. I didn't see the rest of the homies' names, so we'll see. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all guys right now, I'm streaming, so I'm gonna yap away a little bit. But if you find me very annoying, like a lot of people do, just go into your settings and mute me. You know what I'm saying, my homies?
30 seconds before you attack.
But I'll try to communicate well and be a good person, good teammate to y'all. Okay?
Tony Stark. I'm totally fangirling.
Ew, relax.
We can swap autographs after the fight.
Swap? You should just be asking for mine. When's the last
Seems
time you
like you're
sold out
seeking
Stark Arena
somebody's
reps?
attention, so...
Oh, hey, what's up, D-Jibs? Hey, I appreciate you coming on the mic, buddy. Hey, your mic's a little bit low. You should put it up a little bit. I appreciate you getting on the mic. It gets boring, man.
All you need to do is capture the
No,
mission area.
I'll chill out a little bit. See, now that I know I got a friend like D-Jibs on the mic, your boy will slow it down a little bit and not be so erratic.
You can hear me clearly?
I can hear you good now. Yeah, you were very low earlier. Just say, I was seeking attention, and I'm glad you joined me, D-Jibs.
I'm like, you think you're gonna be an attention whore, I'll bite.
Yeah, you all good, brother. Dude, I just want to have fun, man. Talk with people. I've been streaming by myself, and I'm bored, and I just need some social interaction, man.
Again, it's supposed to be communication, but you know, a lot of people don't.
Right. Let's say, hey, dang it. Loki on our left. I'm getting him right now. Watch out. Can I get away through Russell? Oh, there's a clone. Hey, healer. Oh. My bear came inside and I got him. Alright, I think our team needs our help. We're gonna switch to the Punisher.
Let's try something different.
I would only play Black Panther if I got a good healer on the team, but we'll see.
Only cowards see shades of gray.
D-Jibs, how's Iron Man, dude? Is he fun? Or is he OP or what?
You want to know what I'll say? He's not OP, but actually I like his mobility and how he moves. He feels
really?
good to me, personally.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's up.
So I like being able to fly and shit with skedaddle up out of there and shit like that.
Shoot. I played the Punisher a lot, and I kill a lot of Iron Man with this turret over here, man. But other characters, it's hard to get the flying ones out of the air like you, so. Hey, someone come to our right over here? Oh, I guess I can ping you. Bucky's over here. Oh, he healed. Oh, somebody help me. Oh, you could double tap to warn people?
I am a true team player.
Your boy didn't know that. Your boy didn't know double tap, it's like warning. It's good to know. You try Punisher, D-Gibbs? If you haven't, you should definitely try it one game, man. I'm telling you.
Oh no, for sure. That turn fucking.
He's amazing, dog.
On that, I love the assault rifle to shotgun on some Fortnite.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know he had a shotgun until just a couple days ago when I was playing, and I was playing a lot. So.
Me too. Oh,
dang.
You just forget.
Yeah. I'm assuming you play Overwatch, right?
You wanna know something? I was never Overwatch was always a game like I would always only really play with a group. You get what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, of course, I've had my fair share. Everybody.
Say, yeah. No, it definitely is a game that you need. It kind of gets annoying if the team ain't on point. You know what I'm saying? Or you got some friends with you. So.
Right. So like it was always a game that when the boys was on, we would always get together and do it. But solo runs, that was only when I was bored.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I like playing that hog on that one. And Bucky's like that.
Because if I use my Discord more, then I'd probably have played Overwatch more.
No, right on. You sound like you were around my age. How old are you, man? I'm 34. You younger than me?
24.
24? Damn. Well, I'm Asian, man, so that's why, man. I can never tell age, man. Well, 24 is old enough, man.
The Windsor
Let's
Soldier.
say.
And
Oh,
I'm
enjoy the
black
20s, my
male.
friend.
One of the
Enjoy
best in
them.
business.
They gonna go by so fast.
Hey,
Where are you from?
I don't tell you
Where
not
I'm
to
from, I
idolize
grew up
the
in
red,
Texas,
white, and blue.
but I live in Washington
Okay.
State right now.
Me.
Alright, bet. Yeah, you're just above me. I'm born and raised in Las Vegas.
Oh, you in Las Vegas? Oh, what's up, man?
I got family out in Seattle. My cousin lives with me.
Oh, for real? Yo, I met, when I played Call of Duty, when I was in my upper 20s, I met some cool black homies of mine on Call of Duty. And I went to Las Vegas because I own a little motel. They had a convention. I met them up.
Right.
They took me to a black nightclub down in Las Vegas, and we had a good time. Well, they put me on some Xanax and stuff, and it was me, but I just had a good time. That's all I gotta say.
That's all it's about. I don't be on all that. I don't be on all that.
Back then I just said, oh, I'm just partying, but I'm an addict, man, so I gotta chill out, And I'm older now, so we try to stay away from bad things, man. A lot of people say, well, I don't just smoke the ganja, but the problem is I messed up my mind so much that the ganja makes me paranoid. If I could smoke the ganja, I would. I'm assuming you smoke weed?
Yeah. But it's an on and off thing. I definitely
that's what's up.
had a whole everyday phase. Every day.
Right. We all did.
I like to sum it down to I like to make it more of a social. Let me say that.
Right.
More of a social thing instead of sitting in the room all day just smoking blunt.
Right. Well, the fact that you were able to do that shows me that you got good self-control, and you might not be an addict, which is a blessing. Because I definitely am.
Well, you feel me? You want to know what it was always that I tell people? It was never a matter of stopping. It was a matter of not wanting to.
Ah, right. Yep. I feel that. That's I feel that.
Like I said, I'm 24. I smoked my first blunt when I was 16, but I'm never stayed with it. Like when I was 16 was when I first my first blunt. When I turned 18 was when I started going stupid. But then I didn't start chilling out until fucking 24.
Oh shoot!
So
right on.
You're talking to the new and improved version of me.
Yeah. Hey, that's how I feel right now. And I'm 34. Hey, we all on the fours, baby. I feel I'm new and improved too. I used to be an arrogant motherfucker in my 20s, man. I was a fat boy when I was in high school, and I hung out with a lot of gangbangers and drug addicts. And then I was arrogant when I moved up to Washington from Texas because the Asians up here, they ain't that scary. So I took advantage of it, acting like I was a thug when, deep inside I was a scared little boy. But
and you want to know what's crazy about that? It's funny that you say that because mine came from fucking bitches I fucked with. Every girl I ever fucking talked to used to smoke blunts and shit.
Shoot.
Like, I only did it, I didn't really start, like I said, when I was 16 years old, I met, that was my first girlfriend, and then she got me into smoking blunts, but then after she cheated on me, right, I never had access to the weed no more.
Right.
She was that person. So then, like I said, I settled down until I turned 18, and then, I started partying. I'm 18 years old. I get to go act stupid, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And imagine when I turned 21, living in Las Vegas. You know it was over.
Yeah, no, that's Party City, baby. Shoot. Oh, man. What was that, D-Jibs? Man, he's out of the voice chat, but I like that homie, man. He younger than me by a decade, but the young homie's cool, man. I'm going to see. I'm going to add him up. Now, if he rejects me, your boy Chocopie, he going to cry a little bit, but it's all right. We'll get over it. But let's see, man. Seems like a cool dude, man. I like his energy, man. That's what I like. I like chill. Like I said, we could tone it down. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Chocopie not all crazy. He knows how to tone it down when he needs to. But I definitely don't know how to add people because your boy's a noob. Oh, there we go. This is how we do it. Oh, you can avoid as teammate. Hey, I'll be honest. If you take this game seriously, like I did League of Legends stuff, I wish League of Legends had something like this. Now, they do have a block button. I think they might, actually. But we'll say we add him, and then he can add me if he wants. I found that hilarious. Homeboy seemed like a chill dude, man. Oh, yeah, right on. Yo, what's up, D-Jibs?
There you go.
Like I said, I'm screaming. I hope you don't mind.
No, by all means, go
Yeah,
ahead,
I've been
man.
doing it a month. I've been
I respect the fucking hustle over there.
yo, I'm a hypocrite, dog. Dude, I never had a TikTok or nothing. I told my wife, I'm like, dude, these little fucking young kids on that, they're such narcissists and shit. And then I started fucking just 4 weeks ago started doing this thing, doing YouTube and all this stuff. I was like, dude, how come people talk to themselves for hours? Well, I guess I found out, man. So,
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because you know everybody, like even myself, you know, I'm glad that you went out your way to at least see it through, and you're committed to it enough at least. Because I definitely have the camera and the PC.
oh yeah,
Not the PC, not the PC, the camera and the laptop
Yeah.
to edit videos and do shit like that. I just never leaped for it, went for it. You know?
oh shoot, man, I think
but just
definitely
like you,
do it,
I was
dog.
never big on social media. I was
Yeah,
never big on
right.
social media.
All I had was
like,
YouTube
I-
before. That's it.
Right, I have everything. I have Instagrams and YouTubes and everything. It's just I never really
Yeah.
post anything on there. But
Right.
now, you feel me? You're right. Even in my older age, I'm like, yeah, I definitely should have. I
Shit.
definitely should.
Yeah, no, dude, shit. You got it, man. I'd say do it if you got the equipment. My brother-in-law, I think he's around now. He's a little bit older than you, but he's young to me because I'm 34, right? He got his microphone. I'm like, and he got 2 monitors. I'm like, are you a streamer? He's like, no. I'm like, then what the heck is this? You better get to stepping, man.
You better get into
Yeah,
it.
get
on
to the
real.
grind,
That's what my
man.
homeboys always told me.
Well, so you see, you got the calm voice. I'm more like I could be crazy. I'm all over the place, man. But I could definitely match people's mood, and you seem real chill and cool, man.
Oh, of course.
But are you black?
Of course.
I knew it.
I'm
See,
a mutt. I'm mixed.
Oh, you mixed?
I got black and white in me, but like
Oh,
one quarter
okay.
white, one quarter
Let's
white.
see. Well, I got black and
My
yellow
pops
in me,
is
baby.
from, oh yes, sir.
Nah, I'm just playing, but
I could tell.
that's just a joke.
You got you got a little bit of you got a little bit of that black. You hung around a crowd.
Yo, man, I grew up in Texas, man, and
you're
if you're
definitely
right, Korean
You're
Americans got
invited
2
to the
choices,
barbecue.
dude. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. My black other homie, my good OG of mine, he says the same thing. Nah, in
Right.
Texas, man, if you Korean American like I am, you got 2 choices, man. You either gonna be white or you black, and I'm black.
Right,
But if you're from
right.
California, you could be Mexican. But that's only California.
Right.
You know, I got some Korean gangbanging homies from California putting that tan pants with them cholo pants on with the 1 button. You know what I'm saying? With the checkered button ups.
Right.
Dang. Shoot, Las Vegas must be crazy.
That's what my
man.
homeboy be telling me.
Oh, real?
You know, I always tell people, you know, just living here my whole life.
Yeah.
It's really a place to hustle, grind, and everything
Right.
else. You get what I mean? But the thing is, like I told everybody, I've lived here my whole life. I would not want to live here. I would not want to die here, like at all. I would leave my family. I'll get the fuck up out of here, just because this ain't the type of place to raise a
Right.
family no more. And it's never
Interesting.
really been, because the thing is, like, I've lived in Vegas, so my pops has always told me, like, don't fall for the temptations that this place gives you, because
Yeah.
this is Sin City. You get what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, you would just be a dumb fuck to fall for
Right.
such things, and you live here. You get what I mean?
Right,
So,
yeah,
like,
that's
you
for the
can't live here
tourists.
and fall for it. Let the tourists fall for that shit.
Yeah.
Don't be at the clubs, at the strip clubs, going too crazy. Like, you know, have fun, but you
Right.
know, don't let it consume you. So.
Yeah. Nah, that's smart, man. I had a couple. I had my Vietnamese homie. He moved over there. He went back to Texas now. And then I had my Samoan homie. You know, a good friend of mine. It was my pastor's son. And we were close friends, the best friends at one point. He moved to Las Vegas. And at first he had a good time. But then Las Vegas consumed him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Went back on the cocaine and he was looking a little rough, my homeboy.
I am ready
You know,
to put on a show.
Have you ever met Samoans? They got good. They cool, man. They always good people. They big as hell though. You don't want to fight with them. They like it's like fighting a rhinoceros, man.
You don't
Yeah.
want to fuck with them. No,
Yeah,
no.
them motherfucker. He dabbed me up a couple times, man, and there's nothing I can do other than trying to get killed because he's drunk.
Only 60
Shit,
seconds.
I used to talk to this one Simone chick. That girl still in my eyes
Oh,
has the
man.
biggest size I've ever seen in my. she had a body on her. I'm not gonna lie. I told her I gotta climb up that. She was a big
She
girl.
gotta climb
Not
up
a big
there.
girl. She was a thick girl. She was
Yeah,
a thick
right.
girl, but she was tall too. Yeah. I was like, I still ain't met a thickie like you.
Man, I'll be honest with you, G-Jibs, because I'm at an age that I don't give a shit. Your boy Chocopie, I can't handle no thick girl, man. My dick don't make it work. Shit. I'm only black waist up, dog. Down below, I'm Asian. The Asian came back, homie. Oh, shit. Man, yeah, you good people, man. I'm glad you added me, homie. You know, next time I stream and stuff or I play this game, definitely hit me up, brother.
No, of course, because me and my boys, me and my two cousins, I have a younger cousin and an older cousin. Every now and then, you know, when we make time, we get busy on here, so we're trying to create.
Oh,
Nice conversation you guys are having.
Oh, what's up, homie? What's up, brother? Another homeboy coming in. I just met this homie last game, man, and now we almost on like best friend level, homie.
I was about to say, yeah, no, we need to make a big party.
Right on. Oh damn, I got smashed. Man, they playing strong, man. Hey, I'll tell you this one story of Las Vegas. I still find it hilarious. You know, I'm sure you're 24, so you know, what's his name? Well, Flow Rider, right? You remember Flow Rider? He's not popular no more. Okay, and Flow Rider, and then what's that guy with the Flavor Flav, Mr. Clock wearing guy?
Yep, Flavor Flav.
You know, I'm 34, so I grew up with them. But we went to Las Vegas. I own a hotel, right? So we go down to Las Vegas for that. It's a convention. Now you gotta understand, hotel owners are 80% Punjabis, Indian people, and then the rest is white, us Asians. You know what I'm saying? So we have a concert at the end, and they're so out of touch with the hotel owners. So you seeing everybody that's like 40 and up, right? And I'm like in my younger upper 20s, and I bring my wife with me, and Flo Rida singing in front of a bunch of Indians and white people and Asians. And then they have this one young Asian girl up there. She's like 12 years old. You know, she just having, you know, trying to have fun. And then I want to go up there because I was drunk and I know Flo Rida and nobody else does. And I'm like, hey, put me up there. But my OGs that own hotels, they put my wife up there with Flo Rida and Flavor Flav. And she's nervous and she don't know his music like I do. So he's singing and then he passes her the mic to sing her part. And my wife is just stun locked, dog. I have a video of this. I just gotta look through my phone. I was laughing. I think I was saying, get her off the stage. Get that motherfucker off the stage. Shit. I had a good time though, man. It's just so funny. You know, Queen Latifah was there too, giving a motivational speech, and I was there. I missed all the little things, but I went to Queen Latifah. You know, I grew up watching Martin and all this stuff. You know, black comedy and TV shows. So I love that shit. But it's just funny because, like I said, everybody else don't know nothing. They don't grow up like I do. We're talking about old people from a different generation that don't like rap or hip hop.
And I love, and it's funny. You're gonna like me more for this. This is what's funny. When it comes to the old school culture, I tell everybody all the time. You feel me? I feel like I was supposed to be born earlier on the road because I'm telling you, like Flavor Flav, everything that you've mentioned, everything I know about all of it. I was there.
That's what's up, man.
I paid enough attention. I was a young nigga, but yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
right.
My pops was a man of culture. You see, you feel me?
Right.
So
he put you on game real early.
Everything. I've met like rap music, of course. Rap music is my favorite type of music, right? But he would never let me listen to just rap music. He used to make me diverse my ears. He used to tell me, you know what I mean? You have to at least have 3 favorite country songs, 3 favorite hip hop songs, R&B, etc.
Hey, you know I like that, man. Pop's a good man.
And it's been good. It is good to me because anytime I kick it with,
Right.
I kick it with anybody, and then of course all they do is play rap music. Everybody be trying to pass me the aux because yeah, it'll go from a rap song to like a dope fucking, you know what I mean, rock song.
Right.
And they're like, I never heard this shit before. I'm like, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, even old school. I listen to the Temptations. Man, I listen to all of this. I'm a classic man. I wasn't meant to be in this fucking generation. This
well, let's be honest, man. You know, I wouldn't tell my homies back when I was in high school, but you know, I listened to Backstreet Boy, Britney Spears. I had a good time in that generation when that shit was popping. All right, it's like, I just keep it away from the big homies. You know, as you get older, you just don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I said this before. It's not that I don't give a shit. You just don't have too many insecurities that you did when you were younger. You know, I was full of insecurities when I was young, man. You know what's crazy? A lot of black homies and Mexican, they watch anime. You know, when I was watching anime when I was in high school in early 20s, when my homies come over, I have to shut it off and hide it. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody watched it back then. But now this generation, all the black homies and the young bucks, like all y'all watching anime and stuff, and it's cool now for y'all. But for me, I had to hide that shit.
And let me tell you what the problem is. Let me tell you something. I'm not that old. I mean, I'm not that old to the point where let me tell you, anime genuinely didn't start getting popular still until a recent. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you could say maybe a decade ago. Sure,
right, it started growing.
There were people, but this is the thing. Me and my homeboy always talk about it. Yeah, I was a nerd for liking anime. I was a nerd for binge watching horror movies. I was a nerd for all that shit. Guess what? Now it's just pop culture. You know what I mean? Now everybody.
See, so now it's not being a nerd. It's what the end is. That's the cool thing, which is strange for me. Like I said, I'm 34, man. I'm a decade older than you, and it's just a strange thing that happened. It switched up. When I moved from Texas to Washington, let me tell you, man. If you had a white girl and you were a Korean, like my big homie did, he was a big-time game banger in Texas, and he had a white girl, and when he came out, it's like mafia style. You know, he had people open his door, and then people on each side bowing. If you ever seen Asian movies, they be bowing next to him, and then, of course, the white girl be loving that shit. But in Washington, well, like I said, you have to be like that to get a white girl. Now, in Washington, when I moved up here in my 20s, early 20s, they liked Asian people, and I didn't know that. And I was so tripped out. I was like, dude, all these Asian homies dating white girls. I was like, this is not possible in Texas, homie. Things are so different. That's when my mind started opening. I realized I was a little bit racist back then. I didn't even know I was racist. I was just like, dude, I'm Texan, homie. Like, we from the South, we nice. But if you fuck with us, we're gonna fuck you up. That's just our nature.
Hey, not even gonna cap. Growing up, I never really liked white girls like that. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I never liked my black girls like that. Not until I got into my older age. Not until I got into my older age and I realized that my black queens really do be loving their black men. You get what I mean? Then I'm like,
yeah, because they almost make it seem like they hate them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that. I don't know where it is, man.
Because
like I said, I'm not black,
is the thing, like because it's the independent woman thing, and that came from mainly black women. And don't get me wrong, I tell black women all the time and black men that it was. I have to be honest. I'm a man, so I'm gonna hold myself accountable for other men. I'm like, we fucked over our queens in a lot of situations, and that's what forced them to become as independent as they are right now. Right, but there's also a fine line of let a man be a man for you, and you get what I mean. You trying to lead the relationship, it just doesn't work. So that's why I was always crazy about white girls, because white girls were more yes girls.
If you dated a black guy, they'll listen a lot more. See, I've seen that.
But as I got older, I was like, nah, I need a black girl to fucking cuss my ass out and shit like that. Put
you straight a little bit.
That white girl's a yes girl. She's just gonna do whatever I say.
That's who I'm married.
I need a little bit of.
I married my wife because she was a yes girl. But the thing is, as you know, I've been with her 13 years. Dated her for 10, and then I'm married her. Now she changed. Now she's more fighting back because she matured. She got older, right? She's 5 years younger than me. My wife started.
Right.
And that's why I married her. I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about shit with her. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. She's going to just take it. Now, of course, she evolved, you know. But I just wanted to marry into my people anyway, you know, because of my parents, you know. So, you know, Asian culture, like, they always say, hey, let's be honest. Every OG Asian parents out there, they got a little racism in them. it's just their culture, man. It's just how they are. And they said, don't
Right.
you ever date anyone that ain't our people, because we want to be able to speak to them. You know, my parents are a little bit more open-minded, but I'm just. It's not everybody, but a lot of Korean people. Their parents are like this, man.
It's crazy that that's the case, because actually I would love to find myself a Korean girl or an Asian girl. I feel like that's where my wives are actually.
Oh,
like
I think you have a good time, man. But you know what's crazy? Like you just said,
a Blasian woman.
Korea is always like 10 years behind America, all right? But you see this BTS and stuff that comes out. Now it's coming to America, right? And it's bopping because it's a different nationality. But we had that in America. It's Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and stuff. Yeah, now K-pop is popping. You see what I'm saying? They always like the decade behind. But the thing is, they're putting all these dramas out there, K-drama stuff. It's always like, back then the woman listens, but now they're changing. Like you said, like the black women, they're stronger now. And it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing too. They feel like all our men are putting makeup on in Korea. They're losing their masculinity. And I don't think that's a good thing in my opinion. Like a man should be a man, you know? You could be a metrosexual man for all I care, but you should be a man at least, you know?
What? And then like when you look at it now, like black women still date within their own race, but they always be cheating on their man with a black dude, and ain't that kind of crazy? Like, it's kind of crazy, man.
It is. That's some. You know what? There ain't one race that has their shit together. You know what I'm saying? We all in this together. You know. We all got our own problems.
But this is that is the biggest thing about all of this. You know what I mean? We need more people to realize that we're more in it together than we're not.
Right. See, that's the thing, man. And that's what I'm about, man. I could chill with anybody, man. I'm a chameleon if I have to be, but you know, I'm a Christian man, dude. You know, when I turned 18, man, God came into my life and my whole life changed, man. Shoot, I went to jail about 9 times. Did a lot of bad things, even when I was a Christian, man. And that one I have to feel bad about, you know. But yeah, life's been crazy, man. But I get to understand people, and I can forgive people. Let's see. Yeah, if I didn't go through what I went through, I don't think I'd be as open-minded as I am now. You know, a lot of people think, oh, Christians hate gay people, right? Well, you know what? My dad's not Christian, but my mom is, and I am. And my dad owned one of the biggest gay nightclubs in Seattle. We had like 100,000 people come to our nightclub. Okay, now when he said, hey, son, I'm going to get a nightclub, oh, you know I was excited. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get all these females. I'm going to be president of the nightclub until he told me, no, it's a gay nightclub. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We Christian and we from Texas. Like, are you really out of your damn mind? Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna be honest. That broke my barrier with gay people, Doc. I was like, dude, I have no problem with gay people now, man. A lot of them are my friends. Shit changed for me.
Yeah, I'm really. Yeah, no. I used to talk to this one chick, and she used to make music, right? And trust me, within her making music, I met so many people from different walks of life and stuff like that. And you know how music truly actually connects people. I've never believed that more than I did when I met her. Like, there was a time where I used to listen to music, but was I really, really listening? When you think, you get what I mean? No.
Yeah, well, yeah. Some of the shit I listened to when I was in high school, I didn't know what it meant until I got older.
And then, yeah, when she starts making music and then we start diving into lyrics, like she used to dive into it for me and dissect shit. Yeah, now in my older age, you know, I've gotten into that. But I remember at the time, like, you know, of course, a lot of the dudes she used to kick it with were gay. A lot of the dudes were gangsters. Everywhere, different places of life. You know what I mean? Being with her meant that I had to be non-judgmental to everybody, but I'm glad I did.
Right. Thanks for the hill, whoever that was.
Because I was you know, I don't commit like I never, you know, I was never against what they would like, you know, I was never against it. I'm just like, hey, if a dude walked up on me and was trying to get at me, then that would be the only time I would act out.
Right.
But even then, yeah, no.
I had a problem, dude, because of how I was raised in Texas. You know, like I went to jail in Texas, and one of the times I was a white homeboy was next to me in the holding cell, and we chatting up. He didn't seem gay to me at all. And then he told me he was gay, and after that, I just stopped talking. I was like, nah, get the fuck away from me. So that's where I was at, my mindset back then. Until, of course, you know, my parents owned that nightclub. It changed, you know. But
the
dude was chill. I had no reason to hate the dude. We were having a good conversation. We locked up together. You bored? You chatting up? We having a good time. It was just all like a stupid mindset, you know. And plus, even as Christian, it's had to love people, man. I don't care. I have a lot of people that don't believe in why I believe in. It don't matter to me, man. It's all right. And I ain't one to force nothing down your throat. You don't have to believe in what I believe in. But I am going to speak about it because I always thought it's like, as far as Christianity goes, like, I always felt like if you have a cure for cancer and someone don't believe it, you still going to shove that needle in their neck if they got cancer to save their life. You know, that's how I view it.
Right.
You know, so I'm not trying to, do it forcefully, but I'm not going to not speak about it. If I care about somebody.
No, and I grew up there, and I grew up more or less Christian too because my grandma. Well, I used to go to church. I used to go to church a lot growing up. So definitely my black side and my white side. But then my homeboy, I don't speak to him no more. Unfortunately, that's my homeboy since high school. My only. My second only good friend from high school that I used to talk to every day. But yeah, no, he was Muslim, right?
Yeah.
And even with him, yeah, no, like when I told him, I think I lean more towards Christian. Yeah, no, we was never
still chilling, huh?
Was never against each other.
Right.
Yeah, no,
that's how it should be.
It was never a problem. How it should be.
That's what's up, man. Plus, like I said, I was shooting up, dude, I was a junkie too, man. I was shooting up heroin and cocaine through my veins in high school too. I was going to church like that. I didn't believe in nothing. Now, what happened was something supernatural happened to me, and I was homeless, about to face jail for a year, and then God came to me, man. I'm telling you. And so, like I said, for me, I had to see it. So, if I had to see it and believe, like, how am I going to expect someone else to believe just for me telling them, hey, God is real? It ain't going to happen like that until something like supernatural happens.
It's crazy that you say 18 because I think that's where he spoke to me for the first time, and I'm not gonna lie, call it what you will. I was on shrooms that day, but let me tell you,
I have a story after you. Go ahead.
I had the whole ego death experience when it came to that. I looked at the world differently. I'm not even gonna. I've done it I've done it to a point where like. I don't need it no more. Like there was a time where I was like, I want to unlock my mind, but then I did it so much to a point where I just couldn't get that high no more. I couldn't dive into my mind, so I left it alone. I said maybe a few years in the future I'll try it again, depending on where I'm at in life. But
you crazy, man. I never took it without a Xanax, which is an anti-anxiety drug, because I get too scared. But now I'll tell you, I had the same thing, but this is after I became Christian, right?
Sat there and cried, man.
Oh, you crazy?
Sat there
and that's what I'm saying.
Like I mean, in a room. Through that whole, bro, I laughed, I cried, I laughed, and I cried. If somebody walked in the room, they would have thought I was the Joker or some shit. They would have sent me to a fucking.
That's terrifying, dog. I would never choose to do shrooms or any psychedelics without Xanax to calm my high down if I'm scared. But yeah, I had a similar experience as you. But this is after I'm Christian. Like I said, even after I became a believer of Jesus, man, I did a lot of bad things up until even my 30s. And I remember one time in my upper 20s, I took acid, and I had some Xanax, so I was chill. But I looked at the concrete, and I literally saw civilizations being built in my seeing it. And I was thinking, I believe in God, right? And I was like, God, Jesus, you're crazy. So even if my own human mind could see something like this and build this from visual effects, right, from acid, then you God are crazy. You're amazing. And I know it sounds crazy, but after that, I went to my pastor at church. I was like, I know, pastor, drugs are bad, but listen to me. Listen to me, man.
Right.
Jesus is amazing. You see how crazy that sounds? Oh, man. I even told my wife, who's my girlfriend at that time, the same shit. She thought I was losing my mind, man.
I'm not a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
I still believe that we weren't crazy, man. We saw what we saw, you know what I'm saying? We ain't crazy.
People will say, like I'm saying, psychedelics, it makes you see things, whatever, shit that's not there. But let me tell you something, though. The greatest songs ever made, the greatest minds
all the psychedelics,
spoken,
right.
Some of them have done some things. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you. I think most of them really at least tried something.
Oh, I believe so. But you know, marijuana, right?
Yeah,
marijuana is a hallucinogen. People don't know this. But when you first smoke weed, the first time might not hit, but the second time, if you really smoke, like I remember the first time, I felt like I was in an anime, dude. I was tripping out. I was seeing things. Like that happens to everybody the first time they smoke, and then it never really happens again. But marijuana is also hallucinogen, and people make a lot of music on marijuana. You know what I'm saying? The creativeness. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
It's the creativeness, that what you just said, the creativeness, because that's what I felt like on shrooms. I would have never got what I ever got. We and you would have never reached that experience if we didn't at least try and then see and then be like, okay, that makes you know.
It is so dangerous, though, man. Just for anybody that's watching my stream, you understand? Hey, don't do it. That's my opinion. You know, Jim, my homeboy right here, don't, for me.
We're not saying to try it. We're not
you know, you don't want to bring that unnecessary spirits in your mind. That I had one homeboy, now this is true, for marijuana. It's a very low percentage, but if you have prone to schizophrenia in your family genes, if you smoke marijuana, you could, schizophrenia will come in a lot earlier. So that happened to one of my homeboys in middle school, to high school. He started smoking weed, and then I guess he was one that had that genetics in him. And for psychedelics, I remember I was at a party with some white homeboys, and one white girl in there, she took it and she went to the, you know, she lost her mind. And I had one other gangsta homeboy. He had a full tab of acid, you know, the stickers, the blobs you put in your tongue, right? He had it all in his pocket, I heard, and it rained. Now he was trying to sell it, right? But it rained, and it soaked into his skin, and that fool lost his mind. Still not recovered to this day. So that's the warning out there for young bucks out there, man. I know it sounds crazy, and we had good times, but you might not get lucky as Jibs and me.
And you might not come out of that. Like, let me tell you, after that trip, it did take me a few days, and to be honest with you, I never thought I was gonna. You're right. In some ways, I thought the recovery was gonna be weird, or I thought I was gonna look at shit much differently. Than you know, you don't. But you're right. At the end of the day,
yeah. Well, thank God you got your mind back. You know, I've had that happen to me a little bit, but not like a couple days, and that's scary, man, because it's like, I know what you're saying, because I had that kind of weird moment where I feel like it was like almost I was living in a dream, but I was awake, and I was like, dude, is this going to be like how my brain is going to function forever?
And I'm like, is this forever? Exactly, terrified. I got terrified.
Yeah, that's terrifying, dude.
And it was one of those things where I was home alone. You know what I mean? Family wasn't there. They was on vacation. I know.
Why would you do it by yourself, homie? You crazy ass.
Now, this is the thing. Like, my homeboy, he's into it. I'm the person that started taking advantage of it afterwards because when I was with him, this is what I believe when it comes to that particular drug in general. Yeah. You're right. Doing it by yourself is setting yourself up for fucking a mind fuck.
Right.
It is.
It's scary, dog.
Because at least when you're with people, you get what I mean?
They can calm you down.
You don't feel like you're alone. It calm you down. You're not alone.
Unless you're with assholes.
Of course, doing anything by yourself. Right. But then doing anything by yourself, shit, you ain't gonna know what's right from wrong at that time.
Well, the white boys do it right. You know what I'm saying? They have somebody called a trip sitter. You know, when we and my homies, we all get fucked up. But you know, the white boys, you know, they have things called trip sitters. You know, that don't take it and they watch over the homies. You know, us Asians.
No, that's what I should have had. That would have been the more responsible fucking thing to do. Shit.
You know, I've done a lot of things too by myself, and dude, even sniffing. Dude, I'll tell you some weird things because, like, now I'm not that person, so I can talk about it, right? But man, I remember when I was doing a lot of blow, like one by one, all my homeboys would get paranoid, and it would take months, but you will see it when it hits them. Like after that, every time they do cocaine, they get paranoid. It's never the same for them. But then when it came to me, I literally would be sniffing lines or injecting at my house, and I'm still living at my parents, and I would get so paranoid my parents started going to come in that I would go into their room at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would just stare at them for a couple minutes. Now, that's some horror shit. I'm just staring at my parents sleeping, and then I slowly sneak back to my room, do another line, or do what weird shit I'm doing, and I go back over to their room and just stare at them. And I swear, if my parents was awake, they would have probably thought, like, the devil was in me, and I was going to kill them, dog. Some weirdo shit, dog. People out there, I'm telling you right now, don't do that blow, man. That blow and that crack.
Okay.
Oh, please don't.
Thank God. Okay. You want to know something? So I'll definitely. I've always been one to take the knowledge from somebody that's always been older than me. All right, so in my eyes, you know, what I mean, you're looking out for me. The fact that you even said that. Now tell me this: the only. Okay. There's 4 things I've done in my life, but one was one time. Everything else was occasionally until, you know, like I said, besides the things. But yeah, smoke, drink, of course, you know. I tried acid a long time ago.
Right.
While I was in school. Now, I definitely was tripping around that time, but for some reason, like I said, like it really just came from not having the people with access to it. Is why I never really pursued it. Right now, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie. And pause when I say this, I'm a big freak, right? I'm not gonna cap. So and it'll all make sense. I've considered bumping a line for sexual purposes. The only reason I haven't is because I'm scared of the addicting part of it.
Oh,
but I literally just want to do it. I just want to do it to have like a crazy night of fucking.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, crazy sexual. Yeah, I'm telling you. You know what thing about cocaine is? 1 line is never enough, and 2 or 20 is too much. But you just and your dick don't work, dog. Like you all horny, and there's other ways to counteract that, but your dick, like once you start doing enough, your dick won't work. So someone like you that want to get some coochie, it ain't gonna work out in your favor too much. And plus, I'm telling you, it's like getting a revolver and then putting a bullet in there, and then someone's offering you $1 million to just pull the trigger. You playing Russian roulette.
How about? Have you ever tried ecstasy?
Yeah, I tried every drug you could think of. I've tried except for meth and crack cocaine. That's about it.
So, would ecstasy be a better?
I'd say hell no.
What I'm looking for.
But you say you can control weed, right? I have a. Okay, let me ask you this, because you know, dude, I've been in AA, I've been in NA. Dude, I'm just telling you, I've been
I'm not gonna lie.
drugs.
Hey. Between me and you, it's embarrassing to say I actually...
Hey, remember, I am streaming though, Gibbs, so as long as you okay with that, just, you say between me and you, but I am streaming,
No,
but it's okay if you want to share.
I'm matching your...
Alright, cool then. I just wanted to let you know.
Cool. I hope everybody's watching so we can get some life lessons here.
Right on.
Honestly. But no, I went to rehab when I was... 21 years old, and guess what? My pops was strict at the time. Guess why my family sent me there for? Guess what my drug of choice was when I was in that motherfucking rehab? Just marijuana.
I knew it. I was gonna say it, but I wasn't for sure.
But that experience of going to it, though, I'm not going to lie. I told you when because I attended for like maybe a month or 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing crazy.
Did you have withdrawals though from the marijuana when you stopped?
No.
Oh, I did.
You want to know something? I was trying to prove to that nigga that I ain't.
Yeah.
That it was a choice. You feel me? I was just Dylan. He said you can't stop. I was like, motherfucker, I watch.
So you like that? Okay. Do you let me ask you this. Do you have? I'm not trying to be a therapist or something, but I know about drugs, man, and addiction and stuff. What about your parents and your grandparents? Does any of them have addiction in them? Like they can't stop and they're fucked up their whole life?
This is why, and I'm glad that you asked, because this is why my parents were so upset with me at the time.
You probably have grandparents or something, huh?
My father's side, my mother's side, I mean, heavy drinkers. I mean, to the point, yes, it's killed few aunties and uncles.
Okay, that's extreme alcoholism, man.
And then alcoholism. I mean, my cousin, he's 32 years old. He's already on dialysis because of how much he's been drinking his whole life. He cut half of his life short, and that's my black cousin. My white side is heavy on drinking. My black side is heavy on marijuana. Heavy. So in both areas, that's why my mom tells me because my mom is kind of like me when she gets high, but the thing is, she gets paranoid. I don't. Like, I have ADHD, you feel me? And my mind is always racing.
Right. So that weed calms you down.
Hell yeah. I used to tell my mom, I didn't see a problem with me going to work playing the game, smoking a blunt, and waking up the next day and doing the same thing again. I didn't not see a problem with that, right? But, you get what I mean? Yeah, it definitely was consuming how much time, money, time, and how much I was doing in relationships with people, because of course, you know, family wants your best intentions, shit like that. But yeah, no, it comes from the history of my family.
Right. I'm gonna tell you right now, then, because I don't forget conversations too. I'm very much like these kind of conversations with people. 100% don't ever do it, dog. I'm gonna just warn you right now. Don't do it, Jibs. You know, if you do, you do. But I promise you, it's not worth. It's not that good. Okay.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. No, not at all.
If you as well drink your.
Yeah, nah, dude. I was in when I was 18. I was in rehab with grown folks, like 40 to 50, sleeping on the floor. And I was addicted, and my parents and my mom ripped up all my baby pictures. She said, hey, I ain't gonna do anything with you no more, and that's my mama. Every time I went to jail, she took me out of there. She gave up on me, basically. But she didn't. She came back into my life, but at that moment, she gave up on me. And then that's when I met Jesus, man. Like, he kept sending weird people, like Christians, into my life, and I was like, oh, shit, like, what's going on? And then I got my arm healed, supernatural stuff, but like I said, dude, the addiction is crazy. You know, everybody starts off with weed. I start off with weed. Most everybody. I can't say everybody, but majority. And when they say, all these old heads back then say, hey, weed's a gateway drug, I was like, shut the fuck up, homie. Like, we just hanging out, having fun. Well, you know what? It hella was a gateway drug. It's a fucking gateway drug.
But a lot of people at my rehab actually said that drinking was a gateway.
Oh, hell yeah.
For them.
Drinking too, and it could definitely. Yeah. You know what the thing is? It's only because it's legal. Dude, alcohol and benzos, that was my drug of choice. Xanax, because I have high anxiety. That shit's the only two drugs that could kill you when you stop cold turkey, if you're addicted. It has a potential to kill you. Not fentanyl, nothing. It'll hurt like you dying. But those are only two drugs. So alcohol is definitely a drug. It's just a legal thing. And people make money off it. Now, my culture, Asian culture, they're all alcoholics. You go to business and your boss tells you, hey, we're going out, you're going to go out and you're going to get shit-faced. And if you leave before the boss, that's disrespectful. That's Korean culture.
No, and right, out there, yeah, no, I'm very in that culture. That's one of my favorite cultures. I actually love to study and shit like that. And yeah, it seems like out there, that's all they do.
Oh yeah, they won't say they're alcoholics,
smoke cigarettes and drink.
Yeah, they alcoholics, dude. And so my dad and my grandpa, right? My dad and grandpa super alcoholic. My grandpa stopped because of a health thing, and then he became a Christian. And then my dad also, well, no, he's still alcoholic, but he's a functional alcoholic. Me, I'm not a functional drug or alcoholic. I can't function. So that's what happens. As the generations go on, it gets weaker and weaker for the next generation. You know, my grandpa and stuff, they can all handle it and get their shit together and work. Like me, I drink, I'm hungover for 2 days, and I can't handle myself. And I can't get my shit done. And then
well, I was about to say, wouldn't you actually say that it's worse now? Wouldn't you say shit is actually more stronger than it's ever been because of the bullshit us young niggas be putting in?
Hell yeah. Dude, my homeboys and me, we smoked spice and all that shit when it came, like in the smoke shop, because Texas is marijuana. I went to jail for, I think, a month off of a roach, homie. Off of a roach that was like my toenail size, dog. For a month, man. They don't play around. But then, you know, I moved to Washington, and then people are smoking blunts, and this is before it became legal, right? And they're smoking blunts, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing, homeboy? Put that shit away. And they're like, oh, it's Washington. They'll just take it from you and throw it in the trash or something. I'm like, what are you talking about, dog? And then we got legalized weed now, and they have marijuana shops, and plus, to me now, it's boring. You know, I love parking lot pimping, smoking weed with my homeboys in the car, doing ratchet stuff, stealing from, well, back then, right? Mindset of a youngster. That's what I enjoy weed from. Okay? Allegedly. But shit, that cracked me up. I don't think like that no more. But that was the fun of marijuana, you know? Getting shit-ass weed, but then once in a while the chronic comes in. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story. In high school, I got kicked out, right? Or, no, I went to a secondary school, and that's where the pills came in, before the cocaine. But I convinced my parents, so the vice principal, I saw him like probably 100 times over. I said, hey, I'm going to switch to this. So the high school got to sign off on it, right? And my parents came, I convinced them. My dad said, you're stupid for this. I said, Dad, trust me. So the vice principal was some bitch. He hates me. He even cussed in front of me, and he said, nobody's going to believe you. But anyways, So I'm going to my secondary school, but before the vice principal passes, this is how it goes. The cabinet he shows my parents first is files of all the kids, the high school kids, right? And he's like, this is where all the normal kids are. This is where your son's at. He opens the bottom drawer, and there's just my folder. Like, super. Takes up the whole cabinet. And half of it is me throwing paper airplanes in a Spanish class one day just to piss off the bitch. And then the other half is me writing fake forgeries of my mom's signature because I skipped over 100 days of school one year in my junior year. And I wrote like spring break. I took 2 weeks off extra, and I put went to Korea. My ChocopieSenior's mom, and I put her signature. You know. And so when I'm leaving, this motherfucker gives my parents a drug test. He's like, hey, this is a little going away present. That's what he says to my parents, I think, if I remember correctly. And I was like, this motherfucker. And where the funny part comes in is my dad takes it, right? We go home, and then everything's tense. He's like, go piss in this. So I do it. I can't really figure out a way to cheat the system, right? So I piss in it, and then, of course, every drug, pop, 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 pop. And you know what's funny is back then, you know, in Texas, we call shit. We really sucked on the team. My bad, people. Anyways, they call swag bad weed with seeds, popcorn, and swag. That's what we call it. We call mid-grade dro, and we call the highest chronic. You know. Now, on the paper, it said chronic user of drugs, right? That means you use a lot of it. But at the time, my dad's like, hey, you do the chronic? You the chronic user? And I was like, Dad, how the fuck did you know? Dad, I smoked chronic, homie. That's the shit. I thought it was funny. I was like, how the motherfucker know? Your boy do be smoking the chronic, homie. Oh, shit. It's a stupid story. I find it funny, man. My life. You know, I didn't say that in front of him. Believe me, my dad whooped my ass. He beat me up.
The nigga, how you know?
I'm saying, shit. My dad's like 5'5", man, but he beat my ass so many times, dude. He put a lot of mental scars in my mind, but I love him, man. He's a good dad. He just grew up fucked up, you know. So he didn't know how to raise me. And hopefully, when I have kids, I'll raise them better because I have God in my life, and you know, I could express myself more emotionally than my dad could have. That generation, they a little bit more. It seems like your pops was chill though, man. You know, he was chill. It seems like from what you told me about the music thing and stuff. I listened. So
the thing is, my dad, like, what's crazy is I actually, you know, I mean, I talked to my. But you know, we have our times, but my father, yeah, he was, bro, I mean, I can't remember a time I didn't get my ass whooped, bro, because, like, I'm not even lying, not until I started going to high school, and it was a privilege actually going to public school, because throughout my life I was all over the place in schools that they paid for and shit, but man, I really wanted to go to public school to be with just everybody else, right?
Right.
Because I used to go to hella white schools and private schools and shit like that, and like I said, I'm grateful for it that my family even had the funds to send me to those places, but I still wanted to be with my people. You get what I mean? So eventually I did, and like I said, that's where
was that the bad shit happened, or was that when shit.
See, the bad shit happened is when I got out of high school.
That's what happened to me.
And that's because and that's because you want to know something, and I'm not gonna lie, a few days ago I literally, bro, like, I just thought to myself, and it broke my heart. I had to get down to my knees and start praying to the Lord, because I realized a lot of the things I've ever done in my life, bro, was out of love. You feel me? Like, I wouldn't have gotten into smoking marijuana and shit like that if it wasn't for a bitch I was talking to, or the people I associated myself. And a lot of, you feel me, a lot of situations like that, bro. I literally broke down and was telling myself, you know what I mean, I need to stop living for everybody else and start living for myself. Because I genuinely was like living to impress other people. Because, and it's funny because when I got into smoking weed again, I go on this date with this girl. I go on this girl. She invited. I had sushi there. Not for the first time, right? But you know, I had sushi, and she wanted to go eat sushi. So we're on the date. It goes well. We leave the date. Then all of our services go out on our phone, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, I was still young and I was still figuring out my way around Vegas. So what she told me was, just come back to my crib with me. You could spend time with me to until the service comes up. I thought I was gonna get me some gooch that night. I ain't lie, but tell me why. I don't, bro. That was probably the highest I've ever been. Still to this day, I like to make the joke that it must have been laced or something because I was tripping. It was just my tolerance was low.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I remember I embarrassed the shit out of myself.
That
I
awkward
like,
eye,
bro. It was the most, bro. I remember I high and she kept passing me the blunt and I wasn't even really hitting it perfect, right? So she was blowing it into my mouth trying to be cute, and then I'm she's going through her notes writing down her bills or whatever. I still remember this, and I'm sitting right next to her and I was staring at a candle, right? And for some reason I was staring at a candle for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. Just watching it while she was doing what she was doing. We had music. Tell me why I looked away from that candle and I got to tripping. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I am high. And I was pacing around the house and shit like that. And she was just watching me and shit.
Oh, man.
It was so embarrassing, bro. And then I remember, she's like, I remember she told me, she's like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. She's like, you can't handle your high. I don't know if she like that no more. So then guess what? For her, of course, I built up a tolerance, right? So I could just kick it.
Yeah, we all been there.
She's the baddest.
We all been there.
You feel me? So that's just one scenario, but yeah, there's a bunch of scenarios where I was definitely doing things for people.
Right. Hey, you know what's crazy? I know
not me, for people.
You know, I gotta tell you this, man. It's not just a coincidence. You know, I told you I believe in Jesus, right? Dude, I did this streaming thing, man, for God. Well, I did it for myself, but it became for Jesus, man. A lot of this stuff is for non-Christians, dog. And I tell you, I didn't do this for money. I got a business. I just wanted to stream and tell my story to help young people and spread the gospel. And I'm telling you, literally just the other day, I had to block a good homie of mine because my whole life I have had the fear of man in my life. And I don't know if you know about King Saul, but he's in the Bible, and God put him as king and took his blessing away from him because he cared more about people than man. Because King David, the one that killed the giant, he was going to be king later, but he got jealous and scared. And my whole life I've been on like scared of people because my dad beat me, you know. So I was like always trying to fit in, be funny, try to fit in and please everybody else except for myself. You know, I even fuck over my family for my friends. You know, and that's how my whole life was. Until the other day, God broke me of that chain, dog. I literally, this homie of mine, I won't tell you the situation, but I had to cut him off. But I told him I love him. But, you know, God wants me, and I sent him a sting because he's Christian too. The way he was going at me is not how a Christian should do. It says in the Bible, if you go to another brother or even your enemy, show them kindness and gentleness. And so I cut him off, and God just broke this fear of man over me, man. Like, my whole life was built on fear. Fear of my dad, fear of disappointing him. Now he can't beat me, right? But I'm still scared of my dad. When my dad calls me, I jump up. My wife's like, why you always do that? Like, I jump up and I pace before I answer my own pop's phone number. Like, these are mental scars and things, you know? And what you just told me is crazy. I'm telling you, brother, there ain't no coincidence. My whole channel, like, other than the gameplays and me giving some fun tips on business, is mostly about Jesus, dog. And I'm telling you, what you just told me, there's a reason, homeboy. And you say you cried the other, man, boy, I cry almost every other day when I'm praying, dog.
Like maybe 2 days ago, 2 days ago, bro, I had that experience. I had to go.
So today is the third day. Is that what you saying? From that?
Today's the third day from that, yeah.
Dude, you know, 3 days. Jesus rose after 3 days, but I'm just telling you numbers and these things. I'm not trying to trip you out, man, but I'm just being honest with you. Dude, God came to my life crazy, dog. And I'm telling you, I told God when I started this, I said, hey, God, I don't care if I get 1 subscriber or 1,000,000 subscribers. If I could just help out one person find you, Jesus, then my mission's good. Because you've been taking care of me my whole life.
It was bad because I knew it was him. Like, I mean, something just came over me at that time. I heard some unfortunate news, and then, like, literally, something just came over me. I was like, I just dropped straight to my knees.
That's the Lord. That's the
Tears
Lord.
in my eyes. I'm like, and I was like, I'm so sorry I haven't checked in. I tell everybody, I said, you got to look at God like if you was a parent, right?
Right,
Imagine
exactly.
your kids only hit you up when they want shit. When
Right.
shit ain't working
And
out, you
that's
feel
me.
me? Then
That's how I was with
sometimes he
God.
ain't gonna really right. Sometimes he ain't gonna he don't want to respond to that shit.
Right. And that's
If
that's the
you have
growth.
kids, you want to respond
Right,
to it.
that's the growth of a Christian, man. Because when you're young, right, a
Mm-hmm.
young Christian, God shows you miracles. Like coincidences like me and you being able to meet today and talking, he shows you these
Yeah,
miracles and stuff.
beautiful.
And after a while, you got to get older, right? Jesus says you're slaves to sin, but then you're a slave of mine. But then later he says you become a friend of mine. So you go from a parent and a son relationship to becoming like, you know, I'm saying you grow, you know. And we all like, I seen it all the time, man. My homeboy, I've been telling I'm telling you, I have so many stories of God doing weird stuff in my life that I've been telling this one homie for 10 years in my life, that's been in my life. And he's very logical. He said, oh, that's cool, but he don't believe in me, what I believe in. And then he went to jail. I'm not going to speak on what he went to jail for, but he went in there, and I remember I came out of rehab in January of this year, brother. And still, I have addiction issues I'm dealing with. But I saw a demon come out of someone. I'm serious. I don't lie. And people could choose to believe me or not.
Right.
But other than that, for my homie, I've been praying for him for 10 years. And God, finally, he can't, unless you need him, God can't help you. That's why in the Bible it says it's hard for the rich to go to heaven. It's not about money all the time. Rich, and I'm
It's
just
not
talking
about
about
money.
comfortable. You know, that's being rich for some people. Now, if you don't need something, then why would you even call upon a God if you don't need him? So that's why people, when they broken, they do. So that homeboy went to jail, right? And he calls me, and I'm worried about him because his ex-girlfriend, who's kind of crazy, calls me and lets me know. So he calls me from the jail. I picked up the phone, and I said, hey, what's up, homie? He's like, you all right? And then he's like, yeah, I'm all right. But he asked me something he never asked me for. He said, can you pray for me? And I was like, okay, God, you doing something. So I said, hey, read Psalms 91. It's what I read to go out of my rehab. I didn't stay for the whole 30 days. I left 12 days. Like the 12 disciples, I left. And I told him, read Psalms 91. And I said, let me pray for you. But then the police dragged him away from the phone. So he calls me the next day. He's bailed out somehow. Oh, his parents bailed him out. And then he's way older than I am. And he said, hey, brother, 10 years I've been talking to him about Jesus. And he said, okay, but you know, I don't believe in it. I think,
Right,
you know,
right.
you did this yourself. Every good situation that happened to me, he always said, oh, you did this yourself. You did it. I was like, nah, I didn't do shit other than ruin my life. But then, so he goes back to his jail cell. He finds the Bible. He reads the Psalms 91 that I asked him to, and then he puts the Bible to his chest or to his stomach. And it's funny. In the Bible it says, Jesus says, out of your bellies will flow rivers of living water out of your bellies. And your stomach, your intestines, is like your second brain. That's why you get anxiety when you have a stomach ache. Now, anyways. So he puts the Bible to his stomach, right? And he has a supernatural experience. He said he felt heat that he never felt before coming from the Bible into his stomach, and it felt like his whole body was on fire. But it wasn't painful. And he was so freaked out, he pushed the Bible away, and he touched the Bible, and he said the Bible felt so hot that it should have lit it fire right then and there. And he's not a friend to lie. And he's very, you know, logical. He doesn't like, you know... And then he says, and then he just tells me, yeah, I believe. And he told me, I told Jesus in there that, you know, I'm gonna find out what he's about. I'm gonna read his word, and I'm gonna believe. That's what he told me. And I couldn't, like, 10 years I've been praying for this homeboy, and I couldn't even believe what I just heard out of my ear. And I'm like, God, you waited 10 years. I've been praying for this homeboy, and now it's the time, huh?
Now he sees it. Now he sees it.
It's impossible, I'm telling you. I could preach all day long to people, but until, like, you at a point, like, even you 2 days ago, like, there's a reason. I'm telling you. Now, God, he says he knows you from when you were born. He knows the strands on your head. Every strand of hair you have, he says he knows. So he knows those are who his people are. He knows the ones that's going to come to him. You know? So I believe you are one of those, man. I believe you are one that Jesus knows that you're going to come to him. Because none of us are good, man. Even the nicest people that do good stuff to people, there's always motives, right? You want to feel good inside. You want to be a good Samaritan. Nobody does things non-selfishly. It don't matter even if it's a good thing. There's a reason for it. But we all bad people, and Jesus came and died for us because even lying, even white lie to a God that's like supernatural, we're humans. He's a good God. You cannot even come in his presence with like a little blot on you. But he came down to earth and he died as a man for our sins, and that's why he says all you have to do is believe in him and repent of your sins, and boom, you're done. now it's not that easy, right? There's a journey, and you gotta go through this. Paul, the apostles, he said it's a marathon. It's not a race. It's a marathon. You just gotta make it to the end, man. Because I had a lot of my homies, gangbangers. Right after I became a Christian, around 18, 19, all my homeboys around me, I'm talking about all of them, became believers. They had supernatural stuff. I'm talking about gangbangers. I had one homeboy that murdered 2 people. I didn't know until he told me. He became Christian and he told me he killed 2 people. He was a gangbanger, and we didn't know that. But like I said, he became Christian. But the problem is, at this point, almost every one of them don't believe in God no more. But at that point, they all did.
Yes.
And that's the problem. It's a marathon, dog. Because sometimes God won't talk to you. And there'll be seasons in life that you feel like you're all alone and God left you, but he don't. He's always been there. You know, it's just... It's the journey, man.
It's crazy that you say that. It's funny that you say that. You ever watch Star Wars?
Yep, of course, man.
So tell me why. I watched the Obi-Wan not too long ago. And it's funny that you say that. You remember the whole throughout all of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was
Are we talking about where Darth Maul lives? The Darth Maul one? Are you talking about that one?
3.
You're talking about the cartoon?
No, I'm talking about the IRL movie. I mean, live.
Yeah. It was the live action show of Obi-Wan. It was on Disney Plus.
Oh, I didn't watch that yet. Damn,
so pretty much, I'm not. You watch it on your own time, right? And pretty much, you remember at the end of Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan was speaking to Yoda on like what are these kids, and he said, you know, you take Luke to Tatooine to go be with his family. Would take Leia to be a princess, pretty much. But then at the end, he said, you know, I have news from the pretty much whatever the ghost realm from your master Qui-Gon. You remember? And he's like Qui-Gon, right? So the whole entire show. So the whole entire show, he's going on this journey on how is he supposed to communicate with the dead, right? Like I said, he gets to the end. And he's like, Qui-Gon. He's like, you know, I've always been here. You just weren't ready to see at that time. You know what I mean? He couldn't get over what happened with Anakin. He couldn't get over things. Not until, like I said, I'm not gonna give you the in between. But when we get there, he turns around and says, you know what I mean? Yeah, you had so much. What's it called in your heart? You know what I mean? Yeah, you wasn't ready see me yet, and like I said, that's how I be feeling. I'm like on the real. I was just like, man,
man, that's what's up, man.
I could finally see.
Hey, this is a good thing that the Lord helped me meet you today, man, brother Gibbs. It's a good thing, bro. And for the homeboy, I'm sorry, man. I know we talking and we doing pretty bad because we homies and we talking right now. Forgive us. We should have probably played unranked. That's my bad. We just having a damn good time. Hey, we could have made a podcast over this one, man. I've been thinking shit as a podcast.
Let me tell you something. You want to know what I think call it is? I'll tell you this right now from the Lord. I actually think in some ways, when it comes down to the YouTubing shit, my calling is to be on a part of a podcast. Be a young nigga that's on a part of a podcast that could motivate the youth and teach them, push them in the right direction, especially from another young person's perspective. You get what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm not going to say that my life, I've met so much people. I'm grateful for my life, right? But at the same time, I was also raised by people that have always told me, you know what I mean? Everybody's opinion matters. You get what I mean? There's not one right way of doing things. There's not one wrong things. You get what I mean? Sometimes yes, there is a black and gray. Sometimes you will never see that other person's point of view. But as long as you gotta accept it, take it in, all of it. Like I said, I lean more towards Christian. I've studied every religion though. I've studied all the religions.
That's good.
Just for me to come to a point to reach the Christian and be like, I still believe more in this more than anything.
See,
I'm like, all the other stories was cool, but I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't see it. I can't see it because.
Nah, I love my Muslim homies, man. I told one of them, you know, but they gotta understand, like Prophet Muhammad, like you know, of course, there's even in the Christian Bible they had slaves back then, right? Some people, but we all have owned slaves. Every culture, nation have all owned slaves at one point in our history of human race. Okay. But like Prophet
sometimes
Muhammad,
it was your
he
own
said some
people, and that's
oxymoron
crazy.
stuff, in the Quran, and it's unfortunate, because he also believes in Jesus as a prophet, but Jesus is God to me. But they believe him as a prophet. But Prophet Muhammad, like I said, I don't speak bad on other people's language, but sometimes it's a very oxymoron things that he said. He married like a girl that was like 12 years old. There's a lot of things in there. You're like, don't make sense. It's like God says to love your enemies and stuff like that, but then he's like, go kill them and behead them and be sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that just doesn't add up. But no hate to my Muslim homies, man. Much love.
And there's no hate because, like I said, I used to study Greek mythology. I used to study, it all sounds cool. It all was cool, but I'm like, yeah. At the end of the day, like when you think about when you go break it down in history, when it started and shit like that, it'll always take you back to Christianity. It always brings you back to that. It will always bring you back to where it all started. The greatest book ever written.
Right. So
you know what I mean, for a reason.
Right.
For a reason.
See, this is I'll tell you
because
about
it's
this.
true.
It's just a weird thing, because you gotta think all these now, even for people that don't atheists, man. You see all these billionaires, they meet at Bohemian Grove. I talked about it the other day on my TikTok. I was like, these people are millionaires, billionaires, and they meet privately. And instead of just talking about business or even how to manipulate the economy, they dress up in cloaks. They worship a big owl statue and do all these weird rituals. Like, why would they do this stuff if there isn't a God out there? Like, what is the point of doing all this weird, funky, weird, cultic stuff? There is definitely. Even the rich sees it, man. You see Jay-Z and Beyonce, they on blast right now. I was talking about, now who knows if he actually diddled with a 13-year-old girl. But the thing is, they've been playing with that Illuminati things for years now. Even Beyonce. I used to like Beyonce.
No, and Illuminati, see, the reason why shrooms made me go crazy was because the Illuminati has always been a thing, right? But I remember when I was younger, I used to work at Amazon, right? So my job pretty much was the same thing every day. You grab items, you put it on the machine, grab items, put it on the machine, grab items. So this is what I'm doing day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. And like I said, I had shrooms at that time. So I was listening to a bunch of podcasts. I was listening to everything, things that would open up my mind. And I remember doing some research, like really breaking it down on this celebrity shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I dang near wanted to cry then too. I was like, all the motherfuckers I looked up to, like I don't trust nobody.
That's
like,
exactly. Hey, I made that yesterday. I'm just saying. I made a TikTok.
Like my homeboy cried. My homeboy went crazy. My homeboy literally woke up. I think you're right, because you're right. Marijuana is psychedelic because he must have had an edible, right? And it was he was so high. This dude was tripping for a week. I remember he called me. Like I said, that dude, he told me he felt like he was going to die off that edible. He was like, oh my God. He's like, I was all over the place. But then, around that time, he never knew. He never knew about all this shit that was going on in the world. He's like, Dylan, you too? I said, you want to know something? I'm like, I know. He's like, the Diddy situation, I know. He's like, oh, this situation, I know. And he's like, how do you? I said, to be honest with you, I've been new. I just thought everybody would look at me crazy if I started mixing.
Yeah, back then it was. But now all these things are real now. Everybody did look at things like it's crazy. Oh, man.
Because there was this girl that told my homeboy, like, he's like, you know, would you ever cheat on me or something? Or something crazy. She said, well, if it's a celebrity, and she said it like in a joking way, but she said if it was a celebrity, but it rubbed him the wrong way, right? And then, ain't it crazy? I told him, I said, it's crazy that she said that, and now look at these motherfucking celebrity niggas, huh? I said, all these bitches was all about them niggas, but then, you realize they ain't a good person at the end of the day.
I did a stream with my wife. It was fun. It was like It Takes Two. It's a fun game, but I was telling my wife, I was clowning on her because she used to follow Ace Family. I don't know if you know them. It's a couple that's like, couple blogging, right? Now they're millionaires, right? Now, this is back then when all these YouTubers aren't on blast like it is right now. Now, I used to tell her, dude, you know how fake people are? They put on the camera and they fake. You think they're happy and smiling all the time? Wife, you crazy. Yeah, they rolling the dough, but they lying. And now what? He cheated on his wife multiple times. Like it was all fake.
Score.
And I was telling my wife,
1,
"Whoa,
2,
she
3.
keeps her mouth shut because she's pissed off at me." But I'm like, dude, you see that? You can't trust what you see online. People put on fake facades, the
Well, you
fakeness,
can't expect
or
Well, that's
whatever
what
their best
destroyed
self.
my best friend. That's what destroyed my best friend because,
Right.
like, it
Hey,
really
we
came
should
down
go
to.
to a menu real quick, DJ. Let's talk a couple
Yeah,
minutes,
got
and
you,
then
got you.
I'm gonna end the stream. But honestly, the
No, of
conversation's
course, of
good,
course.
man. I'm gonna cut this. I said, hey, you know what the title of this is? I said,
Hmm.
let's just relax now. No edits. Just enjoying the games because I've been editing too much. But honestly, I'm gonna edit this to your part with me if you're okay with that. Because this conversation
Of
is
course.
hella blessing to a lot of people. You don't understand if they watch this, and it's interesting as hell.
Please, please do. And when people do watch it, all there to
Let's
have
say,
a
yo,
conversation. And then shit, wouldn't it be dope if we started a podcasting setup where the background for the people they're
uh,
watching a video game, but we're talking about the realest shit on the planet. But
right.
guess what? They have something visual to look at, and they also have a
Right,
real
the
conversation
stimulation.
podcast to
Right.
listen to.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about it. I've been doing I had a
Yep.
couple things
Yep.
where it almost like was a podcast, but I was saying like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, dude, like I should be playing the game because people on Twitch want to see me play games, but I'm not good at games. But what you just said right there is revolutionary. I didn't think about that.
Because it's
It keeps their mind
because it's never
stimulated.
it's never about the game because every gamer, it's either you're really good at a game, it's either
Right.
you're really bad at a game, you're funny,
Right.
or like I say, conversations like these could be held
Right.
as so forth so on because it ain't really about the gameplay. The gameplay is for the visual for everybody to watch,
Right, because they
and
would
then the
play the
real.
game themselves if not.
So
You
then,
know.
and then if not, and then guess what? If they don't even want to watch the game and just close their eyes, put the phone to the side, and listen to us talk on some real shit, then
Right.
yeah, then you got yourself a
See.
podcast going.
Dang, man. See, this has been I'm telling you, hey, for
See,
real,
I
for
got
real.
ideas. See, I just
See,
need
hey,
to
you like
capitalize
me. See,
on.
you like me. I'm an idea man, dude. I'm like, dude, I was playing another Pokemon card simulator game as a business owner, and I said, dude,
Right.
developers contact me. I could make this game into a 3-star to a 5-star. I have so many ideas, man. But even this YouTube thing, I used to tell everybody. I have my wife's homegirl in the city we live in. She used to have 300,000
Mm-hmm.
subscribers. Okay, and she a pretty Filipino girl. She's taken by another black homie that's a close friend of mine. But the thing is, she now only has 50,000 because YouTube canceled her channel because she used to smoke weed and vlog. And I used to tell her, hey, if you would just listen to me, trust me, this is what you need to do. You're a pretty looking girl. You already have 300K subs. You could get to 1 million and
Mm-hmm.
be living comfortable. All you have to do is play horror games and just trust me on this. Play horror games. Even if you don't like it, do it. Because people like to see girls get scared, especially pretty
They love
girls.
to see
They
it.
love the shit, but she just did it. She said, "No, I don't want to do it." And I was like, "Damn, come on." Her name is Hannah Janelle, by the way. Go look her up.
Hannah Janelle.
And mine is ChocopieSenior. It's exactly how it's spelled. I have YouTube and TikTok. Hey, for you, Jibs, I say, man, if you
Um,
do have TikTok or even YouTube, go look at my morning thoughts from nobody. I started making that, and that's from God, and I feel like every time I'm reading through the book of Proverbs because that's what King Solomon wrote, and that's King
mm-hmm.
Solomon is the wisest man according to the Bible, and I started reading it because the thing is everything else in the Bible, if nobody wants to hear the preachy, right? Because I'm not trying to go after the
Mm-hmm.
non-Christian, I'm trying to go after the people that haven't met God yet or almost close to wanting to meet Jesus. And on that one,
Right.
I always start my video. I say, hey, you don't have to be a Christian to read this because I know, and I said this before in another video, I know other people that are not Christian that's read the whole Bible front to back, and 90% of real Christians that supposedly believe in Jesus has not even done that. Okay?
Haven't even done
Yeah,
that.
they've not. I was forced
The
to, so I
only reason
did.
I read, the only reason I'm telling you, the only reason I read because my parents sent me to a Bible studies camp when I was
Right.
younger. So during summertime. So
Oh
during
shit.
summertime, they didn't want us sitting in the house all day, so
Right.
they sent us to a little. That was when I was like middle schools, but I remember, yeah, going to Bible camp, and yeah, no, we would have fun at the gym and play the little games and shit. But we always, like, I remember we was always reading the Bible, and I
Yeah, see, that's
remember.
what, hey, like I said, you remember I was telling you I was at the rehab with a 50-year-old man? Before that, what
Mm-hmm.
happened was, dude, are you okay if I tell you my testimony real quick in high school?
Yeah, please.
So this is what happened. I was facing a year up to jail for narcotics. And
Mm.
this is a year, okay? I've been to jail multiple times before that, but I'm talking about a year. And I was thinking, and I'm, when you're in the teenage year, right? you're still close to the teenage years because you're 24, so you can still remember it. For me, it's a little bit hazy now,
Right.
but I'm like thinking at that time I was like, my life is over. Like a year, everybody's gonna forget me. Like I'm gonna go to prison, and I'm a young Asian boy, and I'm fat, and I'm like, dude, I have no muscles at the time. I didn't lose weight then. I was like, I'm gonna get eaten alive, and I was scared, you know. And so I was thinking, what am I gonna do? And I was house hopping from friends to friend because my parents kicked me out. And I was thinking, okay, do I need to go move? I was literally thinking about running away to Mexico. Think about it, for 1 year of jail. Now at
Mhm.
this point, I would have stayed in jail. But at that time, I was such a scared little boy. I was thinking, I'm gonna go to Mexico. But I don't speak no Spanish, homeboy. And so this
Right.
is happening. But we're Texas, right? Texas, regardless if you're a Christian or not, you going to church because that's for
Mhm.
socializing. And my dad even went because he's a businessman, and that's where he meets other Asians to talk business and form friendships. So
Right.
while this is happening, I hop around from church to church to find homegirls to
Mhm.
chill with, to bring to my homeboys, and they're usually the ones that take him. Unfortunately, your boy was fat, nobody liked me. I got the gift of gab with my mouth, but nobody wanted to date me. But so I went to
Right.
this other church with my big homie. His name was Danny from New York.
Mhm.
He had his brother named Steve, and Danny shot his leg on Molly one time, and he has a huge scar down his leg. And so I brought Danny to the church with me, and throughout my whole life up to that point, all I heard was pastors, like geeky-looking pastors that didn't look like they even smoked weed, just telling them stuff like, "Don't do this, don't do." I wouldn't listen. And but now I'm desperate, right? So I go to this one church, and there's this guy named John, and he's there. He's my first mentor, and he's talking about his life. And this is not a preaching; it's a testimony. And in the Bible, it says testimonies are amazing. They set you free. And he talks about how he used to guard whorehouses, how he used to have semi trucks moving weapons, and he got trained in California instead of Korea. He had two places to go get trained as like a mafia boss kind of thing, like Korea
Right.
or California. He went to California, came back, and started doing his thing. But something happened. I forgot what changed him. But when I heard his story, I was like, dude, if a guy like him can change, I know I can change. Because up to that point, nobody has talked about God like that, that he could change people's lives. They just told me, you don't do this, you don't do that. This is the first time I'm hearing about actual people changing. And I was so shocked. And afterwards, I meet him, and my big homie's next to me, and my big homie knows who he is. So he bows 90 degrees. If you see Asians bow, you see the differences of bowing. If they bow 90 degrees, you better believe it's some highly respect kind of bow, all right? So this fool bowing
Right.
90 degrees, and I'm like, oh, I'm shaking his hand, bowing like slightly with my head. But those on stream, you can see how I'm bowing. Anyways,
Right.
so this big homie, I shake his hand, and I tell him, hey, I'm about to go to jail, and your story really touched me. And he's saying, okay, get my number. And he started discipling me. He showed me how to read the Bible, everything. And then through him, all my homies started coming to God. That homeboy that came with me, Danny from New York, one
Mhm.
day,
Mhm.
John, who's my mentor, right? He asked me to preach to some youth kids. Okay, so but I took Xanax because I was nervous. So I was on drugs and I was telling my testimony to these kids. Okay, I know it sounds crazy and
Right.
other Christians would judge me or whatever, but it is what it is. It's my journey. So
Yeah, go on.
I'm
Go on.
talking to these kids and I see in the back my mentor John. He goes over to my friend Danny, and when it rains, because if you're old or if you have scars like that, it hurts when it rains. I don't know why, but his leg was hurting. And
Mm.
John went over to him, and me and him both took Xanax, me and Danny, and John prays for him. And his leg, at that moment, he got instantaneous relief and healing, and he was shocked. That was the first time Danny saw a supernatural miracle happen to him. And afterwards,
Wow.
I went over to him, and he told me, he was like, hey, man, dude, this is what happened. John prayed for me, and my leg is healed. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, bro. I told you this Jesus is real. And then he goes home, right, because he's still on drugs, right? He
Mhm.
took Xanax, anti-anxiety drug, but he's still like, he had this experience, but it don't matter. He went back home, got meth or crack or whatever he was with his brother Steve, and they live in an apartment that has a second floor. So Danny's upstairs smoking
Mhm.
meth or crack or whatever it is, and his little young brother Steve is downstairs. He's my homie too. He's smoking the same thing. So Danny's
Okay.
smoking, and then he gets paranoid and scared out of nowhere. Like right when he's high, he's so terrified, and he's thinking about God. And he said he got down on his knees and he said, "God, I'm so scared. Please, can you take the highway?" Boom! And in an instant, he got sober. And that's the second
Wow.
mirror. He got so shocked, and he was like, "Oh my God, I gotta go tell my brother." So he rushes to his door. He opens his door, and you know who's there? His younger brother's there, Steve. And
Right.
before Danny could say anything, Steve was saying, "Hey, you came home and you told me you went to church with Chocopie and all this happened. So I smoked downstairs and I got scared, and I started praying, and then I told God I'm scared, and He made me sober." And that's the second. So I'm talking that story. I've had many of those, man. I'm talking about like more than 50 stories like that in my life, and this is why I believe so much. But for me, from there, all that's happened to my friends, and then I told you I'm at rehab in Dallas downtown. My mom and
Mhm.
dad, my mom said she burned up all my baby pictures, and my dad, who showed no love to me back then, is the one calling me now. And he says, "Son, I'm gonna help you," but then one day he said, "Hey, I'm not gonna pay for you no more." I guess he got angry or something at me just thinking about it. He's like me. We overthink.
Mhm.
So he just said, "I'm not gonna pay for you." And I said, "Dad, please, if you don't pay for this, I'm gonna go to jail for a year. Like the court is saying I could go to rehab." And I'm fine. Like, please. I'm begging him.
Right.
Like, tears, like, coming down my eyes. I'm like, please, Dad. He's like, no, I can't help you. And he hangs up the phone. And, Nokia flip phones back then. And I just remember I'm so destroyed. And this white boy, this is not even my John, the mentor. This other white boy in the
Mhm.
rehab, he comes to me. His name is Evan. And Evan says, "Hey,
Mhm.
I see you reading your Bible in this rehab." And he's a little bit older than me. He said, "You know what? Jesus is at the door and he's waiting for you. But he wants you to open the door. He's knocking, but he won't open it because he's not like that. Our God is a good God, and he's waiting for you to open the door so he comes inside." This is what he tells me, and I'm like, okay, okay. At that point, I'm desperate, so I'm just like, okay, tell me what I need to do. Like, this Jesus is real, right? So what am I supposed to do?
Mhm.
And then I remember he bought me church's Popeye's chicken or something, or Church's chicken right next door to the rehab in the ghettos. And I'm eating that outside on the concrete, crying as I'm eating this because I'm hungry and I got no money. And
Mhm.
I'm about to get kicked out of this rehab. And then Evan tells me, "Hey, there's a place a block down, and it's owned by two Christian people." He told me he was there, but he got kicked out because he relapsed. But he says you can live
Mhm.
there for free, and even though it's Christian, they have their rules, but it's for free, and the courts accept it. So I walked over, whatever, and I
Mhm.
said, okay, like, okay, let's see what this is about. We walk over there, and I see this two-story house, and the people are Robert and Debbie, and I don't see them yet, but I see two big guys, like white boys. One looks like a skinhead, bald-headed. He actually was on Oprah Winfrey's show one time, the big homie, Jim, that was his name, and his younger brother, I forgot, his Ricky. And I guess I didn't meet them at the time, but when we're coming up to that, they're fighting with each other, like
Mhm.
physical fight. I see one of them slam another guy into the window of that house, and they broke a glass. Now this is my first impression, and supposedly this Evan guy said this is a Christian place, right? That's my like first interaction. I'm like, oh damn, okay, but I'm still like I'm young and I'm desperate, so I was like, okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. And I sit down, and I forgot how the conversation go, but Robert and Debbie's like, okay, we don't know you, but we're gonna help you out because you're chasing after God and Jesus, and all you got to do is this. You can't use your phone while you're with us. We'll let you use your phone to call your parents whenever you need to, but you do not have access to a phone. You cannot watch TV whenever you want. Every morning, you will wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and make peanut butter sandwiches because homeless people will come because they know to come to that house, and I would feed them um, in the mornings and say, that's what you do.
Mhm.
And then we do like Wednesday will be like we get crates of food and pass out to homeless people. And then you have to go to church, and we're gonna teach you the Bible, and you're gonna come to work with us. And funny enough, the guy like a general contractor, and he's almost like a carpenter, which Jesus was. He was my
Right.
first white, spiritual father, man. That's what I call him, my white spiritual father, man. And I
Right.
swear he showed me how to be a man, how to work with my hands. That's the first time in my life I started working, and then they taught me the Bible. And I'm telling you, while this is happening in my life, right, I'm able to like later that year. I remember I called my dad, and then from that house, and I told him, "Dad, I'm all right. God is good." And he's like, "Okay, son, whatever." And I said, and then that's the first time my dad said, in my life, up until that point, he says, "I love you." And I remember I heard it on the phone, and Robert and the father is next to me, the white father, and I hear my Korean dad say he loves me for the first time, and I don't know how I feel. So I said, all right, and I hung up, and I was like, oh, that's freaking weird, homeboy, because my dad never said he loved me my whole entire life up to that point. And all this stuff is
Wow.
happening, dog, in my life. And God starts going to my homies, dude. It spreads to everybody like wildfire. One of my other homeboys that was atheist, like my other homeboy I talked to you about recently, this homeboy was
Mhm.
even more atheist. He would go to church and be in a wife beater and just like ask like the pastors and just be a jerk. He'd be like, okay, what about the dinosaurs? What about these things? And some of the pastors don't know how to answer him. And they know he's just
Right.
attacking them. So he's that kind of guy, arrogant son of a gun, a yapper like me. But I remember John, my mentor. This is when, like, after a year or so, I'm in this spiritual place and everything's all right. I get to come to my mom's house, and I invite John over, and I invite my homeboy Andrew over. And Andrew's over there, and John's there, and, you know, Korean culture, big homie, right? We do everything for the big homie. And the big homie, like, pays for us and stuff. That's our culture. Now, we're doing a barbecue on my parents' backyard. My parents are gone. It's just me, Andrew, and big homie John. That's my mentor. And he's cooking barbecue for us. And I remember he's a gangbanger back then, right? So I'm like, oh, big homie, no. Let us cook. He's like, no. Relax. Just sit down. I'm going to show, because it's Jesus culture, man. Jesus, you know, he shows that he helps people. He washes people's feet. So that's what he was doing for us. And Andrew, he's a yapper, right? He just keeps talking. And, like, he won't shut up. He's like, oh, he's, like, arrogant talking, you know? Like, he's just arrogant as heck talking. And I remember I was telling him about Jesus this whole time after I met Jesus. He keeps telling me, shut up, man. You don't know what you're talking about. You out of your mind. You doing heroin and stuff. I don't even do heroin. Like, Andrew didn't do stuff like that. He just drank and stuff. But he was arrogant. And John, after a while, he was quiet the whole time for like an hour. And Andrew's yapping for an hour. And then finally, John talks to Andrew. And then there's things called prophecy in the Bible. And some people are gifted with it. You know, it's where people could, like, not just tell the future, but it's almost like an oracle. Everything bad that you see in this world, God made it for us. But the devil always mixes it up, right? Like the tarot card readers and shit like that, you know. But basically, John prophesied to Andrew. And he told Andrew, he never met my friend Andrew before. I never told Andrew about him, vice versa. And John, my mentor, started saying, Andrew, so you are like this. You carry your whole family on your back. You have to take care of your whole family, and Andrew does. I remember my homeboy, he would always be the one guy in his family that his whole family counts on. And he just read his whole email without knowing this fool. Just everything. And that's not from John. God downloaded it into his brain. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how it is. I've seen this happen multiple times in my walk with God. And John just kept like just saying stuff. And Andrew, for the first time in my life as his friend when I was young, he shut his mouth. And he didn't say a word once John started talking. And he was like, it looked like he was pissed. Like his mouth was closed. He was pissed. That's what his face was like. And I'm just smiling. I'm like, oh, I told you Jesus is real. Like in my head, I'm like jumping up and down, going in and out, and like trying not to bother them. And then this is what happens. John leaves, right? And then Andrew, he's in my back. I still remember this, man. This is how much of an impact in my mind it is. Andrew's pacing back and forth in my parents' backyard. And in Texas, we have a swimming pool. But he's pacing back and forth. And he looks at me. And he looks down and he say, hey, I'll tell you right now, if you told me I told you so, I don't even give a shit. Like, he's cussing at me. If your God, this Jesus is real, I promise you, I will get a Bible and I'll stomp on it. That's how arrogant he was back then. And he said this. And I said, no, you good, homie? You good. Like, don't worry about this. So tell me what's up, man. And I know what's coming. But I was like, tell me. And he's like, all right, man. So this is what he says, which is crazy. He says, either that man that you just let me see is a 1 in a million genius, or he's Jesus Christ himself. That's what he told me. And I laughed and I said, well, he's definitely not a genius. He is smart. And number two, he definitely is not Jesus Christ. I could tell you that much.
Jesus was speaking through him.
Yeah, he didn't know that at the time. And then my homie, that was one of the homies that stuck with Jesus the longest. You know, he went to missionary schools after that. He just went all over just for God for years. And then, you know, he got burnt out. I'm telling you, there's seasons in life where you find God and God comes to you so strong and you see God so strong and then it stops for a little bit.
Is everybody still on stream?
I'm still streaming right now. I only got a couple people. Me, I'm just started. Where people come in is later. They watch my videos.
Okay.
You know, so I haven't got a following on YouTube though. I got like 10,000 people. I'm at 11,000 right now. I started 4 weeks ago. So I think God is blessing me, man.
For the future followers that are
go ahead, brother,
going to watch this video, my pops has always told me there's a door behind the door. When I was 16 years old, my stepdad commit suicide, right? And he wasn't really my stepdad. It was my mom's boyfriend, but I loved that man as if he was a stepdad. And it hurts me because the last time I saw him, it was nothing but a big argument. And it was an argument from a little kid's mind. I didn't know what was right. It was just a big old fight. And a lot of things were said and a lot of messed up things happened. And that's not the reason that led into that. I just think about that time that if he was still with me, I would apologize for how I was as a kid in that situation, just from my not knowing and my knowledge. My pops always told me that there's a door behind the door. He
Right.
just wasn't able to see it. You know what I mean? The door behind the door is good. You know what I mean? As you go, my pops always told me, as long as you keep living through life, there will always be another door. And even with your story where you've told me there were too many times you've said that, people have given up on me, or I'm giving up on myself, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
I'm so glad you didn't, because guess what? You saw a door behind the door eventually.
Right.
You just wasn't. Some people just aren't ready to see the door behind the door, so they think that it's easier to take the easy way out. No, as long as you keep living, there will always be something to live for. There will always be something that'll open up a new pathway, that'll open up, as long as you're ready to put in the work and take the time to see it.
Right.
My mother cheated on my father. Also when I was 16. That's why when it came down to that Richard, that man that I speak of that's gone, it hurts me because my mom was the person that did the cheating, and Richard believed that she filed the divorce papers. She didn't file divorce papers, right? So he was living a lie, and my dad was over here living a lie. Really, it all came down to the middle. And no, I love my mother. We're all human. We all make mistakes. You know what I mean? It was a time. She did tell him. She did tell him that she didn't want to be with him no more. She just didn't do all the steps she needed to divorce the man so she could go be with another man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the problem was. But my dad told me, because everybody I've gone through so many relationships and so much heartbreak, and my dad always told me that one day he remembers being inside of his apartment, coming from a 2-story house, a house of his dream that he's been trying to build for years. He left that house and left his kids, went to an apartment complex by himself. He said the first thing he did was grab the Bible and go to correct me, what is the story of the man that the man had everything. He had crops, he had a farm, he had everything, a wife,
Job.
everything, and then God took away Job.
Yes,
the story of Job. God took away everything from him. My dad says that he believes that was the situation. He was Job. He says, Dylan, I feel like God was testing me. He said most men will fail that test. Most men go crazy. They do drugs. They get drunk. They kill themselves. They, etc., etc. You get what I mean? He said, when I read that story of Job and how Job went through everything that he went through and he still believed in God, boom. Yeah, my dad, in a span of those 4 or 5 years after, is with my stepmom now, Blasian woman, very sweet woman, from his high school years, very sweet woman. He's living back in a 2-story house with her, living his dream again. He's happy. He was exactly, and my dad was willing to put the work he had to in those 5 years to get to that point. So he tells me all the time, Dylan, that story of Job saved my he said, Dylan, and there's hundreds of stories in the Bible that correlate to something right now. It's the only book that was, I don't know, 1 million years ago, billion years ago, and then on top of that, the stories still work right now till this day. You could be going through something, go to the Bible, go look it up, find that particular story for your particular situation, read it, and be like, oh wow, that's what I'm going through right now.
Right.
They was talking about that a long time ago.
Crazy. Everybody.
It's the door behind the door.
Right. That story, Job. I remember that. To me, to your dad.
But it's a beautiful story.
I hate that story. honestly, for a long time. Because
I
when I
know.
first
I
read
know.
that story, it's long, and I was going through withdrawal on my black homie's carpet. I was living at his place and his carpet, and I remember God told me to read
Mhm.
Job, and I read a chapter a day, and it's all about suffering, him losing. I'm going through drug withdrawal, crying,
Mhm.
it's losing my mind. I was like,
Mhm.
God, why you make me read this? I didn't understand at the time, and your pops did.
Because
And to me, I felt like I
yep.
did everything. Job didn't do anything bad. Job was a good man. Me, I'm
Mm-mm.
a bad man.
He was a great man. Exactly right. But
Mm, that's
even then,
amazing.
that story, that story itself. He said, "Dylan, that's the story that saved my life right there." He said, "I
Dang, you.
pulled that out on the."
Oh
No. He said
man,
he went to his
that's
preacher.
awesome.
I lied. I lied. He said he went to his preacher, told
Yeah.
him what happened. The preacher said, "I got a story for you. Read the story of Job." Changed my whole dad's life.
That's so. Oh, that's so wild. Let me. I'm gonna end the stream, but hey, do you
Of
mind?
course.
I'm gonna share this passage, and I believe it's for you, and it was for me too. It's for a lot of people, but definitely I think it's for you, and I'm gonna pray for you if it's okay for you, and I'm gonna end the stream if that's cool. Is that cool, Jibs?
Please do.
All right, it's Jeremiah
Please do. Please do.
29:11. Okay, man,
Yep.
God is doing everything I prayed and I asked Him for when I started streaming. You're one of them, dude. I already helped a couple young homies, and it's not me, it's God. He has a mission for me, and this is Jeremiah 29:11. I believe this is for you. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare, not for evil,
Yes.
to give you a future and a hope." Now then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you like you did 2 days ago. You will seek me and
Yes,
find me
Lord.
when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord. I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back to the place from which I sent you into exile. I believe that's
Yes,
for you,
Lord.
brother. And I'm gonna pray for you real
Amen.
quick. That wasn't a prayer, that's the Bible verse. But don't worry, I'm not a long prayer. I just want to pray for you, brother. I'm on stream. It's
Please.
awkward, but this is why I wanted to do this. So, Father God, I just pray for this brother. I don't know his real name, but you know him. And God, I don't think it's a coincidence. This definitely ain't. All my life with you, I see when you come in. So, God, I just pray for my brother here. Take care of him. Lord, you're seeking after him. And just the story he told me about, I would never have dreamed of his father having this interaction with you and then relating to my life with Job, that book. This is all you right now. So God, I ask you, what you had me read to him, keep that promise. Bless him. If his welfare's these things, fortune, Lord, protect him, give him finances. Lord, it's okay for us to pray. I feel like God is wanting me to tell you, Doc, it is okay to pray for money. It's not a bad thing. To be prosperous is okay. And that's what that Jeremiah 29:11 said. And he wants to give you hope, brother. And I just thank you, Jesus, for what you're doing. And thank you for a new friend, brother. A brother in Christ, man. That's all I'm saying. He in the book. So, God, I just thank
Amen.
you. We just playing games, but I thank you, God. In your mighty name we pray, Jesus. Amen. Amen, brother.
Amen.
Gives,
What
dang,
is?
man. Who knew it was going to be like this when I started playing Marvel today?
Of course. Of course.
Brother, what the heck?
Give me what's the name of the verse again? I'm gonna put it in my
Oh,
notes. That
oh
was
yeah, go
beautiful.
ahead. Jeremiah
Jeremiah
29:11. And I'm gonna put that as
29:11.
in my bio for this video. I have to edit it, but yeah, I'm gonna shout you out. Like I said, you say you didn't mind, so I'm gonna shout you out in there. But I'm gonna put it on YouTube. It's a little bit too long for TikTok, but I'm gonna definitely put it on my YouTube because I'm getting a lot of subscribers on there. And man, I'm
And of
telling you,
course,
God's doing something, brother, in your life, brother.
and thank you. And what's your name? And what's your
Man,
name, sir? My name is Dylan.
oh, I'll tell your name off stream. Hey, you got Discord? Like I said, because I own
Yes.
a business and I know how YouTube is, a lot of people they'll be hating later
Mhm.
on if I keep growing. But I don't mind telling you my real name, but it's gotta be off stream.
Of
But if
course.
you
Of
have
course.
Discord, add me up. You know what I'm saying? Go on my thing, and Discord is another chatting service. And then you could follow me on YouTube, and then I'll whisper it to you, and then we'll chat up in IRL. You know what I'm saying? Like over the
And I
phone.
got you. And I'll go support all your accounts.
No, I appreciate it, man. No, Jip, man, I'm telling you, man, this is exactly what I started this for, brother. Now, I'm not, man, this is weird, dog. But this is Jesus, man.
And let's take it somewhere because you just gave me so much more motivation to get on. Maybe we could collaborate all
Oh,
this
heck yeah,
together. It
dude.
would be
Hey, if you
great.
start streaming, hey, people have not asked me to shout them out. And I know I'm nobody. Dude, I literally started this 4 weeks ago. Dude, I've read, and this is not out of arrogance. I looked it up and I've done my research. It takes people sometimes 6 months to a year to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm probably at 11,000 right now. This is God doing something, man. And I told God, and it's, the thing is, it's not, I'm not getting like a group with our family, but it's just, I told God, please, when I start this, if it's just one person, it's okay. And I don't want my pride and arrogance to get in the way, because I still struggle with that. I told him, if you want me to stop, you tell me to stop, and I'll stop it. But I asked him, please don't let me get too big, and if I have pride, because then it's going to be hard for me to stop. So I asked him, let me stop when I need to, or if you want me to keep going, I'm going to keep going. I never had passion for anything in my life until I met Jesus. My passion was drugs, alcohol, and doing what I wanted. And then I met Jesus, but then I still had nothing, no passion for anything else. And now this came into my life. This is the first time I ever had passion for anything, brother. I'm telling you, my hotel,
I needed
my
that.
business,
I
ain't
needed
nothing.
to hear that.
Yeah, now trust me, and God will give it to you,
I
brother.
needed to hear that for myself.
I had no passion for nothing, man. My mom thought I was a cook. She said, I like to eat, you should be a cook. My mom forced me into a lot of things because she loved me, but I never had any goals or aspirations until I met God, man. And then my whole life changed for the better, even with all the bad things. I've done a lot of bad, dude. Anyways, just, brother, we're going to play again, and we're going to have some good times. And if you do start that off, I'll be your first guy on your podcast, man. And we'll chop it up, brother.
Of course.
And I'll
Yes, sir. I got you locked in.
all right, man. Hey, blessings to you. Man, I'm gonna edit this, and it's gonna be good, man. God bless you, and people out there, you watch it. You see what I'm saying? Chocopie ain't crazy, okay? Jesus is real. Trust me, man. Anyways, Jibs, I love you, homie. You know, I met you today, but I love you, brother. Man, God bless you, brother.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, we'll catch each other real soon. I promise.